Welcome back, true believers and spectacular Spider-Man fans, to another Marvel's Spider-Man related video. And I have done a few videos about this cartoon in the past, but not really going in depth about it. But this time, since Disney XD and Marvel both released the whole origin short video showcasing the beginning of this cartoon's version of Spider-Man, like showing his main origin in the 6 YouTube videos that they did release, now I feel like I can give my proper thoughts on their cartoon and what I think about their Peter and the show overall. But before I even begin, I make Spider-Man PS4 videos all the time because that's the main Spider-Man thing I am excited about. Spider-Man Homecoming already released, and now the thing that is already also released is the new Spider-Man comic book series. But now the things that we are still waiting for is this cartoon and Spider-Man PS4, of course. I mainly care about Spider-Man PS4. And as you saw recently, I did my Spider-Man Homecoming review because I did want to review the movie for you guys and give you my thoughts on it. And this cartoon as well, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the cartoon overall. But if you do want to see a really awesome channel that goes over this cartoon just like how I go over Spider-Man PS4, go to IzMazing's YouTube channel. He does great videos about this cartoon. I'll leave it in the description so you can go check him out. If you want the type of videos that I do with Spider-Man PS4, but mainly regarding this cartoon, go to his channel because he does really great videos about this main cartoon overall. And mainly to kind of give you a preview of what my thoughts are, specifically regarding the first origin video that is for this cartoon, go watch KidCom's video about this. It summarizes it perfectly in regards to how I feel in regards to the first origin video for this cartoon. But now with that all out of the way, I want to kind of showcase the importance about Spider-Man cartoons in general. In the past, we've had tons of variations of Spider-Man and other superhero cartoons. We have that with DC, who is basically the king of all animated superhero shows, is DC. Marvel's killing it with the movies, but DC has always killed it with their animated movies and TV shows. They are the greatest when it comes to all those shows. I love the Batman animated series. I love Batman Beyond. Justice League Action even looks really cool. And now with Spider-Man, you know, with Marvel's cartoons, they've never really had really good cartoons as of lately in regards to Ultimate Spider-Man and the other Avengers show. Not Earth's Mightiest Heroes, because everyone loves Earth's Mightiest Heroes, but the other Avengers-related show. They've been really lackluster and bad and not really up to par on what the other awesome animation shows that we have gotten from other companies are, and they've just been kind of a real letdown in comparison with those other shows. So now with this new Spider-Man show, everyone got really excited since Ultimate Spider-Man is now finished. We're going back to formula with this show, and we can see how it's trying to be different. That's the big thing I have to point out with this one. It is different. I may not like it in regards to my favorite Spider-Man cartoon, which I said in a video that I have done where I did list my top 5 favorite Spider-Man cartoons. Go watch that one if you want to go and find out what my top 5 Spider-Man cartoons are. But in regards to this main cartoon, it is different. That's the biggest thing that you got to think about this one. This is a different cartoon. It may not be good, it may not be great, but it's definitely different, and I do appreciate the creators of the show for trying to do that approach. Just like Insomniac is with Spider-Man, they're doing something completely different, and what I'm seeing with this show so far, that seems like that's what the writers and the creators of the show are doing with this version of Spider-Man as well. And mainly just to kind of showcase the importance of the cartoons. With Spider-Man cartoons in general, they showcase Spider-Man in a way that we can't really see from the games, movies, or comics, is because that it's like Marvel's Netflix shows. It's a TV show that continues on and on. There's all these cool plots that can be summarized and tangled up in future episodes. So that's what the Spider-Man cartoons have done, specifically with Spectacular Spider-Man and also Spider-Man the New Animated Series. Those are two standout shows that everyone says Spectacular Spider-Man is the best, and my personal favorite is the New Animated Series. And all those shows, mainly those two, showcase these plots in the show, and then they continue them with future seasons or future episodes, and then they tangle them up with new stories, and it's really cool because it's like the soap opera take on Spider-Man, where we can see all these characters that we know and see how their struggle is with Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and then going back and forth with those dynamics in all those shows is fantastic. And mainly with Spectacular Spider-Man, that's just the king of Spider-Man shows, obviously. Again, my personal favorite is the New Animated Series, but with Spectacular Spider-Man, we have had a great voice cast, of course, with Josh Keaton and James Arnold Taylor, and just a bunch of other great voice actors as well, and mainly just showcasing how their performances can also thoroughly impact the characters and make it really emotional for these cartoons, because back then they're just cartoons. They don't seem that important, but when you see Batman the Animated Series, it is so important that that show has such a huge impact with Batman fans and also the Batman games, because the Batman games are heavily influenced from those cartoons, and just a lot of these really iconic Batman stories can be thanked because of this show, of the Batman animated series show. And that's the same thing with Spectacular Spider-Man, mainly Spider-Man Homecoming. Tom Holland looks exactly like Spectacular Spider-Man's Peter Parker. Just look at the clothes he's wearing here, and then look at the clothes that Peter Parker is wearing in the Spectacular Spider-Man. They're the exact same. And it's crazy that they're influencing that show so much within the movie, because also with the costume in the movie, the costume looks exactly like the Spectacular Spider-Man costume. It just has like kind of the updated, modernized black lines on his shoulders and his arms and his legs too, and also kind of the black lines on the blue parts of the costume. But really, if you take all that stuff out and you also have the small Spider-Man logo, it looks exactly like the Spectacular Spider-Man costume, just in a real-life suit, which is crazy. And that's how important Spectacular Spider-Man is with cartoons, is because of how emotionally impactful and dynamic the show was back when it came out. That also goes with Spider-Man Unlimited being a really cool sci-fi show, and also the classic 90s Spider-Man show with Christopher Daniel Barnes giving a great performance as Spider-Man and having really cool comic book Spider-Man stories in that show. So Spider-Man cartoons, just like the games and the movies and the comics, are very, very important, especially for kids who may not know about Spider-Man. This could, you never know, this show could possibly be the very first introduction for Spider-Man for younger audience members, which would be crazy. And mainly my first interaction with a Spider-Man cartoon was the 90s show, and then it went on from that show to the new animated series and also the first Sam Raimi movie. But mainly with the cartoon, it was the 90s show, and I love that show to death. But my favorite one is the new animated series, because I appreciate how much of a darker tone and mature storyline that show does in that series. Even though it had one season, it was a great show. So this show, seeing how Ultimate Spider-Man is finished, and now they want to bring in this new show to kind of have people forget about that show and kind of be this new beginning for Spider-Man, this brand new day, if you will, of Spider-Man, and how they're trying to do it in the show, I really appreciate it. So now that that is out of the way, I want to get into my pros and cons. So if you saw my Spider-Man Homecoming review, I did say I like to start off with the cons and then move on to the pros. However, I have a lot of cons with this show and not a lot of pros. So I do want to get with the pros first and then move on to the cons. So if you get triggered because I have a different opinion than you do, just leave the video and watch a video of someone praising the show, because apparently people really don't like it when I give criticisms or just point out a couple flaws, just like the top 5 issues video I had with Spider-Man PS4. Not a lot of people like that one, apparently. So again, if you don't like me criticizing or giving my feedback on the show, then I guess you should not watch this video. But mainly, I want to give out the pros first, because I did see a couple things that I did like in the show, or at least the origin clips that we did get. And remember, those clips are just shorts of the show. That's not an actual episode of the show. That's just kind of to introduce this cartoon's version of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. The first episode of the show is going to premiere in mid-August, so don't worry. That means that short is basically what we can expect with the show, but mainly as the show keeps going, it will get better and better, and when we get a full-on episode of the show when it premieres in August, we can expect a better quality product of what we got already. I don't know about hugely improved, but it can definitely be better than what we saw already. So my first pro is actually the suit. I do like the suit in the show, not the homemade or vigilante or wrestling outfit suit that he has, but the main Spider-Man suit that we see in the show that he has. It looks really cool. I like the new kind of belt design. It kind of reminds me a lot of the Amazing Spider-Man 1 costume, which I like. I like how the eyes are, just like Spectacular Spider-Man, or they're expressive, it looks like. And just the logo looks classic Spider-Man. I really like the suit, and I really like how it looks overall. Next up is the cast and characters. So even though Josh Keaton is the king of voice acting for Spider-Man, or even Christopher Daniel Barnes, or even Neil Patrick Harris was amazing as well, this new cast, Robbie Daymond, I believe his name is the new voice actor for Spider-Man. We also get Laura Bailey as Gwen Stacy. I think we have John DiMaggio as the Jackal, and that's another thing. We have Jackal, we also have Max Modell, we have Patton Oswalt as Uncle Ben, which is really interesting to me. That's a really interesting one right there. But mainly, like I just said, we have Jackal, Max Modell, and kind of more interesting characters that we can see down the line in this cast of characters for this show. And really, we haven't really seen the Jackal a lot in the Spider-Man cartoon, and Max Modell, definitely never saw him in the Spider-Man cartoon, at least not to my knowledge. But mainly, it's really cool that they're kind of taking these newer characters, or these more unknown characters, or these characters that haven't gotten the spotlight in a cartoon before. So seeing how they're going to implement them in the show is going to be really interesting to see. And again, the voice cast with Laura Bailey, Robbie Daymond, John DiMaggio, Patton Oswalt, it seems like they're taking a really great cast of people in the show, and I can't wait to see how they perform as these characters. Next up, I liked how they're paying homage to the Sam Raimi trilogy, specifically Origin 5, where Bonesaw is back and he gets to fight Bonesaw in the wrestling match, and also it's a wrestling match that he has. That's kind of the part where Uncle Ben, his killer, gets away. They're just like in the Sam Raimi movie where they take that inspiration of the wrestling thug mugger guy who kind of comes and steals the money from the promotion guy, and then Spider-Man is trying to, make money at the wrestling match. And it's really cool, and I like how they're paying homage to that classic origin, and also just my favorite Spider-Man series of movies is the Raimi trilogy. I like how he switched his dynamic from a really joking Peter to a really serious Peter when he has to confront his killer, because how he said all he wants to hear is his screams, which is really cool actually, because that parallels the Ultimate Spider-Man comic where Peter turns into Venom when he has the black suit on and he's choking this guy who he thinks is Uncle Ben's killer, but he really isn't. He's just hallucinating that he is, and he says that as Venom, that all he wants to hear is his screams. And I kind of found that really cool, that it is a parallel of that specific scene from the Ultimate Spider-Man comic, and I really like how they kind of played that out. And also Robbie Daymond's voice acting in that scene was really good. And to showcase what fellow Spidey Squad member Duck Duck actually had on Twitter, is that he on Twitter said that he appreciates what Robbie Daymond was doing with his voice acting, and then, cool enough, Robbie Daymond replied to him and actually said that he says the dialogue that is written for him in the show as much as it is written for him. He does say that Peter's personality and Peter overall matures as the show goes on. So that's really important and really interesting that he does say that, and you have to keep that in mind. If you don't like how the show is so far, just give it a bit more time, and then maybe it will get better overall, because he does say that as the show continues, Peter grows and matures throughout the episode. So that's really important to know and a really good fact. And that's kind of why I wanted to point out this last pro that I have, is that the passion that the creators have with this show is very important. Just like Insomniac has so much passion for Spider-Man PS4, if you saw the San Diego Comic-Con panel where they are talking about the cartoon, they do sound like that they are very passionate about the show. They don't want to let anyone down, but given that this is a cartoon, not like a big blockbuster video game like Insomniac Spider-Man is, and how important that game is compared to the show, it's really cool that the creators of the show are very passionate about Spider-Man and that they're trying their best to deliver a really good show. But sadly, all those pros can't compare with what the cons are that I have for the show overall. Now, even though the creators say that they are passionate of the show, I don't think the writers understand Spider-Man at all. I don't think that they understand Peter Parker's character. I don't think that they understand the character of Peter Parker before he gets bitten by the spider, and I definitely don't think, even though we haven't really seen a full scene of him as Spider-Man, I don't think that they understand how Spider-Man and Peter Parker are so different from one another when he is in the suit and when he is out of the suit. So, the way that he says all these jokes before even he gets bit by the spider, and how he continuously brings up this scientific method of, observation, analysis, experimentation. If he keeps saying that throughout the entire show, I'm going to rip my hair out, I swear. If he keeps saying that during the main episodes, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. It just is so repetitive, annoying. No other Peter in the show has ever done anything like that or said anything like that continuously to make it that he is at the point of being irritating or annoying. Even though he is he's a teenager, he's like a freshman, sophomore in high school, I'm not too sure, but he is a teenager, but no version of Peter Parker would be that outright annoying or input into daily conversations as Peter Parker before getting bitten by the spider. He would be shy, not really knowing what to say. He would kind of be smirky a bit, but not at the point where, he has to make his opinion known and always say something witty every 5 seconds. So that's really kind of annoying me with that. And also, the way he looks. I mean, I'm glad, really, really happy for Godzilla Mendoza that he got the part of Peter Parker in this show. I mean, he looks perfect for the role. I'm super happy for him. But again, watch KidCom's video, and that's exactly how I feel about Peter Parker. Why does he look like Ben 10? Why does he look like Harry Potter? Why is his eyes green? I don't understand who decided to make him look like that, but every past iteration of Peter Parker we've had in the Spider-Man show, I can tell that looks like Peter Parker. The Unlimited Peter Parker looks like Peter Parker. The 90s Peter Parker looks like Peter Parker. The Tenacious Peter Parker looks like Peter Parker. Definitely, the Spectacular Peter Parker looks like Peter Parker, and this show, no way. If you were to tell me that this is Peter Parker, I don't know how you could think that. He just has this bland gray hoodie. Nothing really stands out with him, at least with the Spectacular Spider-Man Peter. He had this cool blue shirt and this satchel that he always carried around as his backpack. And also with the 90s Peter Parker, he always had that cool shirt on. Unlimited Peter Parker, he looked really, really cool. I really like the way that Unlimited Peter Parker looked like. His hair looks really cool. And also the Tenacious Peter Parker looks really, really awesome. I really like how he has his purple pants on to kind of pay homage to the Ang Lee Hulk movie, because that show was in 2003 and so was that Hulk movie. So it really looks cool how that Peter looks like. As for this Peter Parker, I don't like how he looks at all. really bland, boring, and just not iconic in the slightest. And to continue with that, we also have how dumb he is as Spider-Man. Specifically, the whole fight where he's fighting Scorpion, instead of jumping over the gateway towards the subway, he has to pull out his subway card and swipe it towards it so that way the gate can unlock. That's ridiculous. And also that scene in the little teaser where he electrifies himself in the water. Okay, so apparently Spider-Man's dead now, so that was a fun run. So apparently Spider-Man's dead in that pool of electricity. He died just by his own stupidity. Really gets on my nerves. That I get it, he's young. He's a young kid. He would mess up as Spider-Man, just kind of like what we see in Spider-Man Homecoming. But Josh Keaton's Spider-Man in Spectacular Spider-Man was also in high school. He didn't mess up as badly as that, where he slipped in a pool of water and electrocuted himself, and also just kind of like gets messed up by the bad guys really often. It seems like Jackal and Sandman seem like to be doing a really good number on him. I don't know. It just seems really strange how they're handling this Peter and how he's fighting his villains in the show. It seems really lackluster and slapsticky and really bad. To continue, like I said before, the Homecoming inspiration is atrociously obvious in this show. It's cool because Homecoming, the movie, took inspiration from Spectacular Spider-Man, because I just said the Peter in Spectacular Spider-Man looks exactly like how Peter does in the movie. The Spider-Man costume looks exactly how he looks like in the movie. This cartoon, though, is taking the inspiration from Homecoming with the homemade suit and kind of with what Peter's doing, and just kind of like being funny and messing up a lot, but still it's doing it to an extremely atrocious amount of obviousness that they're stealing right from Homecoming, and it's really obvious. They're not really doing anything original, nothing creative, nothing obvious, nothing to say, oh yeah, this is their original take on this character. No, they're just obviously ripping it off from Homecoming's success and putting it into the show, which is really irritating. Next up is obviously the false advertising. We see that with the posters of him with all of his villains, and also with him and the 3 other spider people, and the show looks nothing like that, and that's really sad. They're just false advertising the show, false promotion. They're trying to showcase that, oh, this show looks great and this is what the show is going to look like, and when in reality it looks terrible. And by terrible, I mean it doesn't look in the same quality as all those posters do. So it just really gets on my nerve that it looks like that, and hopefully they can just improve the animation or the art design as it goes on, because I understand animation and art quality are 2 different things, but still hopefully they can prove it on both parts, because you can't deny that Ultimate Spider-Man looks better than this show. You can say that the show is better than Ultimate Spider-Man, but Ultimate Spider-Man, like how it looks, like graphically and visually, Ultimate Spider-Man looks a million times better than this show does. I'm saying it, dislike the video, I don't care, but still I'm sticking with that opinion. To continue, we also have the bland colors of this show. This show looks so bland. Like I said, Peter's gray hoodie. The city doesn't look like it pops. It's just these bland colors all over the city with the buildings. And even the citizens walking around. Everything looks so simplistic, low budget. It doesn't look special at all. It looks very plain, very simplistic, very boring. Nothing screams to me that, oh, this is a different Spider-Man show. Nothing screams to me that, oh, this is something I've never seen before. It just seems so bland, original, and simplistic, and I don't like that at all. To continue, like I said before, we have the team-up of the show. Again, people could think, oh, this show's going to be fantastic. It's going to be the best Spider-Man show ever. I don't think so, because the reason why I love Spectacular Spider-Man, Tenace, Spider-Man Unlimited, the 90s show, is because none of those had any other team-up characters. He had cool mini-episodes in the 90s show where he teamed up with Iron Man and Captain America, and also in Tenace, he had these kind of one-off episodes where he was mainly Peter Parker, and then he also did these things where he was just mainly with Harry, or it kind of focused on another character, like the Talon in the show, and also Flash Thompson. The Talon is that black girlfriend that Harry dates in the show. It's not Black Cat like some people think, that actually is the Talon. But none of the shows had team-ups with other Spider people, and that's why a lot of people didn't like Ultimate Spider-Man, is because he always teamed up with Luke Cage, Iron Fist, White Tiger, and Nova. It was really boring and not really my Spider-Man show. That's why I didn't really like Ultimate Spider-Man a lot. It's not because of the show and the humor, but mainly because he always teamed up with another character. If you're going to have a Spider-Man show, then have it as a Spider-Man show, not a Spider-Man show featuring half of the other Marvel universe. So it's the same thing here. Spider-Man is going to be teaming up with Miles Morales, Anya Corazon, and Gwen Stacy, and they're all going to be their Spider personas, so Kid Arachnid, Spider-Gwen, and Spider-Girl, and I'm not looking forward to that at all. That's going to take a lot of variations away from Peter, and it's going to be really strange how they're going to input that in the show, and I'm not really liking how, again, you could think, oh, this is a brand new Spider-Man, it's going to be so great, it's going to be a million times better than Ultimate Spider-Man. How? It's going to be another team-up show except with Iron Fist, Luke Cage, White Tiger, and Nova. It's going to be the other Spider people. It's the same thing, guys. I don't know why a lot of people are freaking out about the show. It just seems like it's the exact same thing. I'm not excited for it. You could be, but I don't know. Moving on is the animation style, where the citizens of New York don't really care at all that Spider-Man is saving them. Their reactions are so plain. they're so halted, they're delayed. That whole scene where Spider-Man is fighting Scorpion, and Scorpion tries to swing his tail at some citizens, their reactions are like they just freeze in stop motion. And also the people that are waiting in line to get into Oscorp, and also in the Oscorp tour, all the students are just bland. They're not doing anything. They're not even blinking. They're just staring there into the abyss, and it's so boring and sad and low budget and really disappointing. And finally, to wrap it up, I have the web shooters. Where's the trigger? Where's the trigger? Where is the trigger on the web shooters? He has it as a watch pretty much, but there's nothing going out to his palms where he presses a button to shoot out his webs. It's just like a watch. I don't see where the finger pressing pad is that would go on his palm. It's gone. So that's really, really sad and really upsetting that they just left out an important detail like that, and they half-assed it with the design of the web shooter in the show, and it's really upsetting. But overall, guys, I'm not looking forward to the show. I have to say, a couple parts of the show did intrigue me. I have to say, Origins 5 and 6 are the best parts of the Origins shorts that we did get. I despise the first one. Second one is okay. Third one gets a little bit better. Fourth one is alright. But 5 and 6 are the really good ones. But overall, I'm not looking forward to the show. I do like the scenes that I did see in the show, but what I'm seeing so far, I'm not looking forward to it at all. I'm sorry, guys. Again, if you want to see a channel that really talks about this cartoon, go to Ismazing's channel. He does a great job of talking about this cartoon. He will hype you up for this cartoon just like I try to hype you up with Spider-Man PS4 and like all the other Spidey Squad members do. But again, I don't really care about this cartoon. It's cool that it's being made, but I'm not really wanting to see it at all, and I really, like I keep doing, Spider-Man PS4 videos and Radioactive Replay. Those are the main two things that I'm really focusing on my channel, and as you can see, a lot of you guys like it when I do Spider-Man PS4 videos because I did my Homecoming review, and not a lot of you guys saw it compared to the other people who just watch Spider-Man PS4 videos. So mainly, this might be my last Marvel's Spider-Man video for the cartoon until maybe we get another trailer, or maybe if we see the first episode and then I can watch it and then I can tell you guys what my thoughts are. But mainly, these are my thoughts about the show. I'm sorry if you don't agree with them or if you don't like how I talked about it, but still, I'm way more excited about the game and playing other Spider-Man games on my channel than this cartoon will ever excite me. So, once again, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Stay spectacular, Spidey fans. Peace out.